Hi, Fionuala.
Hey, Janie.
So it is May in the garden, and your garden is looking stunning. Absolutely
Mm,
beautiful. But it doesn't just do itself, right? You put some work into it.
you sure do. And
Mm.
in May, you're going to want to really take care of a lot of different things
Okay.
that will make everything keep rewarding you. Today, let's talk about things to do in your garden in May.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I see this lovely rose bush. What is the name of this rose bush?
this is Coco Loco,
Oh,
one of
she's
my absolute favorites for so many reasons. We can talk about that in a second. One, you're focusing on a bud that is that color.
it's gorgeous.
It is so gorgeous. And then they open up to this beautiful, beautiful tan color.
Oh my goodness.
And even when it's kind of blushed out and almost finished, it's got this mauve.
It's like antique
Yes.
color. It's
Yeah.
so incredible.
It is beautiful. It's gorgeous in the garden. It's gorgeous in any bouquet you put it with. So yeah, I particularly love this kind of rose. But as you can see, it's time to do a little deadheading too.
Yeah.
So to deadhead your rose, classically, you go back to the first 5 leaf.
Okay.
Leaf.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Exactly.
Okay.
You also want to pick one that's going out. You don't want to prune so that future growth goes inwards.
Okay.
So you're pruning it for both aesthetics and health of the rose
Okay.
and for future blooms.
And May is when you want to do deadheading.
May is when you start. This year, May is when you start. Every year is not created equal.
Okay.
But I've noticed that a lot of the roses have kind of burst into bloom and are already ready for their first deadheading.
Okay.
It seems a little earlier than last year, but who knows?
You got to follow what Mother Nature wants.
Exactly.
Right.
Not so much by your calendar, but by what your plants are telling you.
And Coco Loco's telling you to deadhead.
It is time to deadhead because I love these blooms so much. I'm going to want to get a whole lot more.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to make sure there's good air circulation going through. And if you see any leaves with any kind of little issues on them, you pull those off too.
Okay.
Yeah. So care for your roses right now is deadheading, monitoring, and feeding. So we're going to also give it some food a little later on today.
Okay.
This time of year, you give it a well-balanced food, 16, 16, 16 or 5, 5, 5.
Okay.
You're still doing that because it's pushed a whole bunch of growth, produced a whole bunch of flowers. It needs some nourishment.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's hungry.
it is hungry.
So in May, we're going to deadhead our flowers and fertilize them after that. Correct?
Exactly.
All
This is what
right.
you're doing for your roses. It also works for other perennials that might have bloomed out already. It's a really good idea to go through and check them and deadhead and
Okay.
monitor this time of year.
All right. Perfect.
The next garden chore to do in May is to start monitoring seriously for weeds. Because we've had lovely weather, that our plants are really doing beautiful, our deliberate plants are doing beautifully. Well, the weeds are going to be trying to do well also. So it's a really good idea to go through and start looking for weeds and pull them out now before they can go to seed.
Okay.
A
What
weed,
happens if they go to seed?
they will spread a million more little weeds everywhere you look.
Okay.
So you want to get there ahead of it. You can see this here, a little about to set flowers.
So you got it in time.
I did. I
Good
got
for
it in
you.
time right there. So that one is not going to be sending out more weeds. This one is early. This is a sunflower that is self-seeded.
Oh.
I am going to leave it there.
Yes, you like
Yes.
absolutely. How fun.
It is fun. Get your weeds now while the soil is still relatively moist and it's easy to pull them.
Okay.
They haven't put down super deep roots and they haven't gone to seed.
Okay.
So you're like ahead of it.
So now's the time.
Now
May
is
is the
the
time.
time.
I don't want to think about weeds now, Fionuala.
I know. We're so busy looking at all the flowers.
I know.
And they're so distracting, but in there are also weeds.
So it's good advice to start thinking about the weeds now. You'll be happier later.
Exactly. The next May garden chore that I really like to pay attention to right after weeding is monitor for garden pests.
Okay.
Aphids can be a big deal right now. We're coming off a really nice spring. And aphids, if you suffer from aphids, you will be suffering them fairly severely right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do I do if I find aphids in my May garden?
If the pest pressure isn't too great, you can simply squish them off with your fingers.
Ew.
A little bit
Okay.
gross, but you know, it's just
It
simple
works.
and it works. Yeah. Or spray them off with a jet of water.
Okay.
And that's if the pest pressure isn't too great. Aphids also are really great food for ladybugs. So if you can find ladybugs, there's a way of releasing them that they'll get up there into a rose bush or whatever and eat those aphids for you.
Natural predator prey.
Exactly. A lot of people complain that the ladybugs fly away and go next door, but that's often because they don't have enough aphids for the ladybugs to eat.
So it's a good problem to have.
It's
if
a
your
good
ladybugs
problem to
don't
have.
stick
Yeah,
around.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's a nice balance that you can achieve there. If ladybugs aren't working and spraying them off with a jet of water isn't working and squishing isn't working, there are a couple of great sprays that are safe for your garden. I really don't like poisons in general. I mean, I don't like poisons, but this insecticidal soap is actually really good against aphids.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you would just spray this after you've tried the other things?
After you've tried the other things and you're just like, cannot deal with it anymore. It's really good to take down the population with the insecticidal spray.
Okay.
Insecticidal soap, and then go back to your less, what is
Toxic,
it?
less intense
Yeah,
interventions.
yeah.
So then you'd go back to squeezing.
Exactly.
Got it.
You know, just knock back that population and then you can control it the way you like best.
Okay. Are there any other pests we should be looking for in May?
Slugs, snails, and earwigs are about to make a little resurfacing. Now that the weather is warmer, earwigs start showing up. Yeah. And that is a pain, but there's a couple of fun things that you can do in your garden for earwigs. And something I love to do is you get an old yogurt container, one that has a lid, poke holes in the side of it, empty it out of yogurt, of course. Half fill it with soy sauce and the other half canola oil.
What?
It is the weirdest thing, but earwigs love it.
Do you bury it or do you just stick it on the ground?
You kind of half bury it just to make it easier for the earwigs to get in. And you'll come back the next day and it could be full of earwigs.
Ew, Fionuala. I am trying that tonight.
I know. And one little side benefit, if you have chickens, chickens love marinated earwigs.
Marinated earwigs? Is
Yeah, they're marinated earwigs at that point.
I'm sorry. Okay, all right. So marinated earwigs is the way to go.
Exactly. If you really can't be doing all of that, we do have a great product called Sluggo Plus that takes care of slugs and snails
There we go.
and earwigs too.
Yes.
But I always like using the less toxic versions
Absolutely.
first. And if it can be actually fun and your chickens can benefit, all the
Yes.
better.
All the better.
Yeah. May is also a fabulous time to plant peppers and corn and summer squash and winter squash. And it's even time to start planting pumpkins.
Ooh, pumpkins.
Yeah,
Really?
it is.
Okay. I haven't even started thinking about pumpkins yet. So good to know it's time to start. Would you recommend pumpkins by seed or pumpkins by starts?
I like starts better just because I know where they are and birds tend to eat the seeds and the seedlings. So you get them off to a bigger start with the starts. It's a more obvious thing and birds are less likely to attack it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get your money's worth.
Exactly.
And have you already planted your tomatoes?
We're planting them today.
Okay, so May's a good time to plant tomatoes.
Yep.
Peppers.
Peppers, today's the day too.
Cool.
Yeah, and peppers are fabulous. Like the hot peppers, you really want to plant them in the hottest place you possibly can, the warmest soil, and now's a great time to get going because we've had great weather and the soil's nicely warmed up. The sweet peppers, you can be a little more forgiving. They even want a little bit of shade sometimes,
Oh, okay.
especially during the hottest weather. They also want a little more water than the hot peppers do. So, yeah, I've got tons and tons
I'm
of
just looking at
peppers.
this one.
Yes,
Satan's kiss.
yes.
Have you
we
tried
have
that
some
one?
serious. I can't eat. I'm Irish. Don't forget. I can't eat any hot
You like
pepper. They're all the
potatoes.
same to me. They all like kill me. But I really do love some of these sweet peppers. Like
Okay.
Cupid is amazing, and Carmen is amazing,
I love it.
and Lunchbox Orange is amazing because they're
So
the
May,
cutest little things.
so May is a good time to plant a lot of your summer veggies.
Yes, it's a really perfect time. You get the length of time that you need before we get a winter or a frost or a fall or anything like that. Perfect time to plant them. Your soil's ready, the veggies are ready. It's really good. The last thing I wanted to talk about today, for chores to do in the May garden is to start looking at your fruit trees.
Okay.
You're going to see that there's a lot of new growth that's out, and some of it's going every which way, and some might be impeding the good air circulation. So you want to like do a little bit of pruning. I'm not going to do it today. It's all looking fairly good.
What kind of tree is this?
This is a donut peach,
Oh.
and it's got 2 little baby donut peaches.
Does
3,
it?
4 over here.
Oh, it does.
A couple more over here.
How cute. I love it.
Yeah, so if there was a whole lot more donut peaches on there, it would be time to thin it.
Okay.
So monitor your fruit trees, just keep an eye on what's going on out there, and thin if you need to.
Why would you need to thin?
Because you'll get bigger, better fruit, and again, you're increasing the air circulation in your tree, which prevents diseases, and just gives you bigger, better fruit.
Okay.
Have you ever grown an apple tree where there's billions of tiny apples and nothing's really that
Nothing
usable?
Big one that you actually want to eat?
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's what thinning fruit's about.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. So there's your kind of your last, but last of many May garden chores. Checking out your fruit trees, thinning your fruit trees. Now everybody can come here to Cottage Gardens Petaluma and ask, right?
Yep.
And then can I do a plug for you in your Fine Gardening magazine? Articles, because you write articles like this for Fine Gardening magazine, right, Fionuala?
I do.
And it's for Northern California, and it's monthly, or not monthly, seasonally garden chores that you would do. Right?
Exactly. And I also write for the print publication sometimes too, so you can look for back issues.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I did a whole thing about dwarf fruit trees. Look at these
Dwarfs.
gorgeous dwarfs.
Gorgeous.
Just in case you don't have a big garden, you can still grow fruit.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Fionuala.
You're very welcome, Janie.